What's a psych trick you love to use? Under-promising and over-delivering at work. I also work at a mental hospital, and it works with the people I work with. Sometimes staying silent in a negotiation works in your favor. Silence often feels uncomfortable, so the other party will offer up something by filling the quiet space with words. I used it once to negotiate something with my boss. I stated my case. He hummed and ummed for a bit to himself. I remained silent and he relented. Had I filled that silence with more words, it could have given him time to think of a way to say no. When asking a stranger for help, just cut right to the chase with your question request. Then exchange some pleasantries after. What people tend to do usually is, "Hi, how are you doing? I'm so and so. Hey, can I ask you for?" It makes the introduction seem less genuine, like it was only to ease your way into something you would need. Switching the order makes you come across more honest, and then shows you're actually interested in getting to know them or talking to them past whatever favor they're doing for you. Whenever someone is showing you around or demonstrating something to you, open your mouth ever so slightly. Doesn't have to be much. Barely a centimeter is enough. It makes you look intrigued and fascinated by whatever it is you're being shown. Bill Clinton is an absolute master at this. Listening to someone without giving advice or pushing for more information typically nets me more information than being pushy for it. I'm just naturally a shy and quiet person, but still a decent listener, and I frequently end up doing this unintentionally and subconsciously. I generally only provide a minimum of input in a conversation because I'm too shy to say more, but I do always keep attentively listening. And somehow, that indeed seemed to cause people to say more than they originally intended to say. I tell my toddler that I really want to eat her dinner myself. This is broccoli. It's only for adults and big kids. You are too little. I never got the hate on broccoli. That shit's awesome. Tastes amazing. Is it just because it's green? You're neglecting the fact that some people have parents who are absolutely terrible at cooking anything. That can ruin a lot of foods for a kid. If a customer is angry, I just agree WTH them until they calm down. I'm really angry that delivery times are more than a week. Oh, that's a long time. I would be angry too. I've noticed that people will let me do kind things for them if they think I'm doing it for selfish reasons. No, let me cook for you. I need to practice making this dish. I always smile when I see get approached by anyone, so they immediately think I'm happy to see them. Makes me a lot of friends and helps conversation start better too. If a customer is angry, just let them talk until they finish. Don't interrupt, but do occasionally say things like "okay" and "I understand," so they know you are listening. Make notes, and then once they're finished, summarize what they said. Most angry customers just want an affirmation that you actually paid attention to the reasons they were pissed off. Once they get that off their chest, they are much more willing to work with you to resolve whatever issue they're having. If we have a follow-up call, I'll usually ask again about the things they were upset about on the previous call, and they are usually pleasantly surprised to know I actually remembered. I statements rather than you statements. People generally feel on the offensive when you put something on them, especially when there's an issue. For example, "You did this wrong. Can you try it again a different way?" Putting the blame on them makes them feel like you're accusing them. Consider "I'm not sure if this is right. Can we try this again a different way?" Lacks the assumed accusation and shows that you're in it together, not just criticizing them and then leaving. I try to implement it, even when it's not a problem statement. Instead of "let me know if you need help with anything else," I usually say, "let me know if there's anything else I can do to help." Symbolically takes the burden off of. When I'm having a deep, intense conversation with someone, and they are divulging things to me, I make sure my face doesn't react and just listen. I ask questions based on the information, many of them leading questions, and let them come to their own conclusions as to what to do about the situation. I also refrain from providing judgment about someone that person is talking about, at least until the story is over. My friends tell me I'm a great listener and that makes me happy, that they feel they can come to me and not be judged, schooled, scolded, etc. I really like asking people the time, right after they have checked it. Most of them will check again. Ask people for things they want to do, don't mind doing, as if they're favors to you. As if you loathe them after this. I think it has to do with point 1. People like feeling useful. People like feeling like they've helped people, not necessarily because they're nice, but because ability to help implies some sort of power. Point 2. You give them opportunity to be nice. They'll feel more comfortable to converse with you because they did something for you. Like you're technically indebted to them. Like if you're very shy you might feel like you don't deserve interaction or attention from the person. Complex. When you've done them a favor you're kinda equal. It's a nice trick to get people to like you. A little trick I learned from the mental game side of tennis. If you ever are in a competition sport or other that requires a lot of skill and your opponent is beating the heck out of you, ask them, man, you are playing great today. Come on, tell me, how are you doing that? If your opponent is playing great, they're probably in the zone, meaning muscle memory is taking over and they are not thinking about their performance at all. At that time, it's automatic. Asking them, how are you doing that, forces them out of the zone by having them actively think about what they are doing, and in the process, screwing up their great performance. Works like a charm. Can't imagine this hasn't been mentioned, or maybe I just didn't see, but the thing I love most is mirroring people. Whenever someone says something to you, take the last few words and just say them in a questioning tone. Example. Person 1: oh, I was with Emily today. Person 2: fit you were with Emily. This duck-eyed thing is like a magic trick. Whenever you do it, people elaborate on what they were talking about more, and you can keep doing it over and over again like a broken record and most people still won't notice. There have been times where I teach someone to mirror and they turn around, mirror me, and I don't notice. It's so goddamn easy and works like a charm. It makes people think of you as a good listener as you're literally saying what they said back to them, and they also get to keep talking about whatever it is they want to say. You also get to know more about the situation without coming off as creepy or too curious. When playing rock paper scissors, I ask the person, what color is your shirt? After they give you an answer, they'll most likely play scissors. What kind of deep lore are you reading this from? He has unraveled the fabric of the universe. Me saving this post and studying the heck out of it. Creating value through absence. There are days when I just don't give any advice and keep my mouth shut and speak when spoken to. That often leads people into thinking I provide valuable info whenever I open my mouth. Other days, they just come to me for problem solving because they suddenly remember I can help them out too. That means I'm the person who they can always rely on, and I create my value. For my retail customer service workers, if you encounter a grumpy, rude customer at work, clarify that you appreciate their patience and understanding, even if they aren't being patient and understanding. Karens, male or female, are sort of like children. Instill a specific headspace without their knowledge and soon enough, they'll actually start exhibiting that behavior. It's kind of like implanting false memories. They think to themselves, you're right, I'm super patient and understanding, even though that might not have been the case. So this is more for parents or people in some position of authority. The best way to get someone to do what you think they should is give them options. So they have X problem. List a bunch of dumbest solutions and the one you think is best. End it with I personally like this one, and would do it. But it's your choice. 99% of the time they go with the one you wanted, but are convinced they made the decision themselves. Not sure if it has a formal name. There was a girl at work I had a crush on. So every time we talked I would give her some of her favorite candies. Did it for weeks. Until she would seek me out and make excuses to come see me before leaving for the day. Paying close attention to the order of words allows you to get a difficult message across more constructively. Summarized as nothing before the but matters. I don't know the psychology behind it. Something about not trying to get the last word. For example, which apology would you rather receive? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have lost my temper with you. But you did irritate me. You did irritate me. But I shouldn't have lost my temper with you. And I'm sorry. Defenselessness are the 7 spiritual laws of success. Basically, don't try to defend your position when someone criticizes, gets mad, disagrees with you. Just shrug your shoulders and go on with your life. If you're always locked in the endless cycle of figuring out what's for dinner with your significant other, instead of asking them what they want, ask them to guess what we are having. Whatever the answer is, tell them they were right and have that. When you're annoyed with someone, just agree. Doesn't matter what they're saying. Just agree. They run out of steam quick when you don't fuel the fire. Whenever I can, I give people choices rather than tell them what to do. People feel more in control when really I'll be fine either way. Some examples: would you rather wash the car or clean the bathroom? Or you can give your presentation now or after lunch. You can continue talking to them out of anger and keep getting the same result. Or you can use this skill we worked on and have better communication. You really don't have to add much to be part of a conversation. Just occasionally repeating part of the other person's sentences as a question can be more than enough to continue their momentum. I learned it in a negotiation with Sterkless. If you're talking to somebody, mimic their facial reactions to the conversation. Smile when they do, crease your brow when they do, etc. You have to work to make it seem natural and not like you're purposefully imitating them. But if you pull it off, they'll walk away thinking better of you than otherwise. Want to help someone express emotions when they're upset and talkative? Don't give advice. Just ask questions. Could you tell me more about subject, place or thing? What did you make of that? Do you think they'll listen? Why is that? It encourages them to talk it through. Someone who has PTSD is having huge anxiety issues. Make a ball of 3-5 paper towels, wet them and freeze them. When they are having high anxiety, grab it and ask them to pull it apart. Pulling it apart calms them. Seems weird. However, I've seen it work miracles. Music can have a huge influence on our moods. Our heartbeats like to meet the BPM. Also, people will start to believe something if they hear it enough, such as the lyrics of a song on repeat. Try playing happy upbeat music when feeling tired or sad to feel better. May take a few times as it gets more effective the more you do it. Sad, slow music may make you cry, but it also helps express the tears. Really fast music like speed metal is great for a workout. I don't know if it's a trick, but I know that when you're talking to someone but don't want to keep talking, randomly look at the middle of their forehead as if they have something that will unconsciously make him feel uncomfortable, and it may end the conversation. Or you can do it yourself and it will not seem rude. I use it all the time with people with whom I'm not necessarily excited about their existence. I like to engage people in deep and meaningful conversation. Mid-conversation, without breaking flow, I'll hand them a totally random object and usually they'll accept. I have no idea what this phenomenon is called, but I've given people pens, pencils, staplers, stress balls, lip balm, envelopes and an assortment of fruit, all whilst having a complete conversation. It's only when I stop talking that they go, "Hey, why did you give me an orange? I was told to stop doing this during the pandemic though. Sad times." Looking people in the eye and handing them shit. I almost got fired because I was talking to my boss about a Karen and how to approach her, and I just handed him a ducking garbage bag I was holding and walked away. It took him a solid minute to realize what happened, and I was already gone. The only reason I didn't get fired is because he had no idea who handed it to him. He said if he found out they were done. This was a month ago, and I just got a raise and employee of the month. NGL, I was a little too ballsy that day. Edit: if you do it right they won't even notice that you handed them anything. You just have to maintain eye contact. Hand them whatever is in your hand. Keep a straight face and walk off like it never happened. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe,